Hey friends, so I just wanted to show you this beautiful, I don't know, what do you call it, a gallon of strawberries? I have no idea. A friend gave it to me and I really need to use them up because they were super ripe. So I still have some left actually that need to get used. I plan on making like a pie filling to use for cobblers and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. Right now I'm working on some sub rolls. They're actually copycat Subway Italian urban cheese bread, and I was really excited for this recipe because this is my favorite type of bread, sandwich bread and whatever. I love Subway. I love the smell whenever I go in there and stuff, so I was really excited about these. And they actually call for Monterey Jack cheese. I didn't have that, so I used like an Italian blend from Aldi, and it seemed to work out fine. So right now I'm just combining like the yeast, sugar, salt, oil, that kind of thing, and then also adding potato flakes. I've never made bread with potato flakes, which is kind of surprising. This yielded a very like soft dough. I don't really know how to explain it. Like it wasn't too sticky, but it wasn't dry at all. It was very moist, and it was just very soft to the touch. So I think it's from the potato flakes. It might also be from the amount of cheese that you add to this dough, but this is a very fun recipe. So I'm just turning out this dough into a greased bowl, and then we're going to cover it and let it rest for 30 minutes. So it's not a super long rise time, which is nice to have a slightly quicker bread recipe. And then next we're going to be moving on to some angel food cake. So I decided to make an angel food cake just because I thought it would go good with the strawberries and with the amount that I had. So I needed 1.5 cups of egg whites. It's been a long time since I've made an angel food cake. So I just picked a recipe off of Pinterest. And if y'all end up counting the amount of eggs that I use, let me know, because I have no idea. I just kept cracking them until I got 1.5 cups of egg whites, and then of course I saved the yolks to do something with those. But yeah, I have no idea how many eggs I used. And the angel food cake recipe I picked, it was pretty good. Like the taste, texture was great. The only thing I would say is typically angel food cakes call for almond extract because they just have that distinct flavor. This one didn't. It only called for vanilla, which is fine, I guess, if you can't have almond extract, but it just wasn't the same flavor. that like the same, I don't know. It tasted good. It just wasn't a signature angel food cake in my opinion. But all right, I finally reached a cup and a half of egg whites. So basically you're going to turn them, put them in a stand mixer, and then whip them up until they get nice and foamy. It takes a while. So there's that. And then you have to sift together your flour, cornstarch, and some powdered sugar. There's 2 types of sugar in this recipe, so you've got to do powdered sugar and then also granulated sugar. And I'm just sifting it. I apologize for the camera pulsating like that. I think it's trying to focus with the rapid movements close up. It doesn't do very well with it, so I might have to change some settings around. But it was taking too long to do the tap tap tap, so I just decided to take a whisk to it to kind of mill the rest of it out. All right, and then I'm adding some cream of tartar to the egg whites, and then a little bit of salt, because now they're nice and foamy. And then I'm just going to continue to beat it together. And then once it's looking pretty foamy, you take a cup of granulated sugar and you just slowly add it in, like 1 teaspoon or tablespoon at a time or something. It's really slow. And then you keep doing that, and then you keep beating it until stiff peaks form, and I'll show you what that looks like. But it's going to be like white and fluffy, and it's almost going to look like marshmallow fluff, but not nearly as sticky or anything, or as like dense. But that's basically what it's going to look like. And whenever you like put your finger in it or a utensil and a peak forms, if you like wiggle it, it doesn't move, like it stays up straight. So that is what a stiff peak looks like. Soft peaks would be very similar, except for it's gonna wiggle a little bit. And I'm just gonna get these into some pans. You'll see my fail in a minute. You'll see. So that flour, sugar, cornstarch mixture, I'm just gently folding it in 1/4 of the mixture at a time. This took kind of a while, but it was fine. And it looks so pretty and white and fluffy right now, but I'm just gonna keep mixing it in like this. So I have this pan that makes like little basket shapes, and I thought this would be so cute to have angel food cake in, but obviously it doesn't hold all the angel food cake, and I don't have another pan similar to this. So I decided to put the rest of it into loaf pans and see how that worked out, since they're straight-sided, whatever. Fair warning, don't put your angel food cake into pans that aren't straight-sided, because in my experience they don't come out. I've made angel food cake before in the classic, straight-sided bundt shape, and it's came out fine. This, I think, had too many nooks and crannies, and it wouldn't. If you've never made angel food cake before, you see I'm not spraying the pans. You're not supposed to. It's such a lightweight cake. There's no rising agents besides the egg whites themselves, so you aren't supposed to grease the pan, because the cake needs to be able to climb the sides of the pan to rise. And here I'm ready to roll out my sub bread. So I made these like little channels out of foil on a baking sheet and then covered it with parchment paper. The recipe I was using said to do something similar. It didn't really have specific instructions for it, so I just kind of figured it out, but it seemed to work really well. And right now I'm just pressing them out into rectangles. I divided them into 4 pieces, so basically it'll make 4 foot longs or 8 6-inch subs. You know, whatever you want. If you want them smaller than that, that's great. And then you fold it up into thirds, kind of like a letter, and then you roll it like a snake. So I'm just laying them out into those channels that I made. And I just have the scissors and measuring cup in it to weigh down the parchment paper. That's why those are in there. The parchment paper, even though I crinkled it and laid it on top, it was still trying to come up. So that's all. I just wanted it to weigh down until I could put the dough in there. Right now I'm just mixing together the herb and cheese mixture. So it's Parmesan cheese, oregano, not onion, garlic powder, dried parsley, and then you brush water on the loaves and then you sprinkle this mixture on top. This mixture smelled so good. It was really simple though and easy. So I've just been keeping shredded Parmesan cheese in our freezer because it's kind of a drier cheese anyway, so it doesn't like lose its moisture and get crackly or crumbly, whatever. I just keep it in a bag in our freezer because I was getting the huge container of it from Sam's Club and it was going bad before we could finish it all. It is a lot of cheese that comes in that container, so it makes sense. And then you just cover these in plastic wrap and leave them to sit until they double in size. Alright, and these are the angel food cakes. They look nice, beautiful, and puffy. That'll change in a minute. But anyway, these are done rising, and so I'm going to finally top them with a lot of shredded cheddar cheese. And then I'm going to cut some slits into them. My knives aren't sharp enough. My husband is even really good at sharpening our knives. These knives they can't. They're so dull. There's not much coming back from them. So I brought out the bread lame, and by now these loaves were really fragile with the amount of air bubbles that were in them. So I was really trying not to deflate them. If you haven't already guessed it, this was obviously my fail. This is even a coated pan, and I could not get it to come out in one piece, not a single one. Obviously, angel food cake, with how sugary it is, it's a little bit sticky. But yeah, it didn't work. But like I said, the texture is still light and fluffy. So I chopped up a good bit of the strawberries, put them over the stove with some powdered sugar, and I'm just gonna make like a syrupy strawberry topping and let these warm up, let the sugar dissolve, and kind of mash them a little bit, and that'll be the topping for the angel food cake. So I chopped off a piece to show y'all how it looks all together later, and I wanted to try to fit those in the same container. They wouldn't unless I squished them, and I didn't want them to flatten anymore, so I just put them in separate containers. But I was bringing these over to my sister-in-law's house. She invited us for dinner, and I thought these would be a good dessert. So now I'm working on one of my recipes, which is garlic aoli. It's basically like a garlicky mayonnaise. It's a little bit thinner. It's got lemon juice, garlic, of course, mayo, Dijon mustard, and whatever else was on that recipe card. I think salt. And you can also add green onions or parsley, whatever you want. I got sidetracked and didn't have any lunch until like it was about 3 o'clock by this time. So I was just going to go ahead and cut some of the sub bread off and then have a little bit of a turkey sandwich. So that sounded good to me, and it was delicious. I was super excited to have this on this day, and then I'm just packing up the strawberry syrup topping to bring to my sister-in-law's along with the angel food cake. And I also took the garlic aioli because we had meatball subs over. That's all, guys. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.